Let's fight. Welcome to the ring, each and every one of you. Let's fight. Let's fight. Let's fight. Let's fight, guys. Love you joining us from Let's Fight. Let's fight. Let's fight. Pace and power. Let's fight. Yolanda Thomas and it's coming. Savon McDonald. Let's fight. Great to have each and every one of you. Colvis Bino. Let's fight, Colvis. Let's fight. Great to see you guys. Deborah Lee. Let's fight. Every small. Let's fight. Love you joining us from. Great to see each and every one of you here with us, guys. Wherever you're joining us from, pace and power. Let's fight. Welcome in the ring. Share the damn light. Smash that emoji button, folks. And let's have a go at it. Good to have you here, guys. Pace and power. Ensure you share the live wherever you're joining us from, guys. Let's fight. Let's fight Ingrid Crawford. Let's fight Charles Nelson. Whatever Guyana, let's fight. Beverly Romaine. Let's fight. Good to have you guys here with us wherever you're joining us from along the world. Pace and power. Great to have you folks here with us. Pace and power. Good to have you guys here. Share the damn live. Smash that emoji button, good folks. And let me go down the road, good folks. And let me go down the road. We don't have any time to waste tonight. Pace, power. Great to have you folks here with us, guys. Wonderful to have you guys out front with us tonight. One front parts there. Avinash Lorraine. We see you there, Avinash. And all the other guys who are joining us. We trust that you guys are great. We trust that you guys are well. We trust all is good at your end. Thanks for joining us in the ring tonight, wherever you all are joining us from. Great to have you guys here with us. Josella Roman, Roxanne Odessa, Claire Belfield, Linda Booker, good to have you. Hazel Chess and Saborn, good to have you, Saborn. And is it Shaverne McLeod? Good to have you, Shaverne. Great to have you, each and every one of you, wherever you all are joining us from, guys. We're fired up and we're ready to go, and we trust that you beautiful, wonderful folks, we trust it's the same for you. We trust it's the same for you. Good to see you guys wherever you all are joining us from. Lena Williams, good to see you there. Mavis Davis, well. Andrew Griffith, good to have you as well. I see Ingrid Crawford is here with us. Irma Dow is here as well. Great to have you folks. It's Shauna Fortune. Good to have you guys with us. Greg Anderson says, Pace and Power. That's it himself. Adele Semple, June Cameron. Good to have you, June. And I am Natasha Congreve is with us. Share the line. Smash that emoji button, good folks. We got a lot to share with you all. Mavis Davis Wells, Roderick Henry. Good to have you. Diane Graves Henry, Junior Gibbs. Good to see you as well. Gwyneth, good to have you. Winston Kerr, Adele Semple, Charles Nelson. Good to see you too, Charles. We trust that you are well. Leon Blair, Wanda Mitchell. Hazel Chase. Good to see you, Hazel. Leon Blair. We're happy you're there, Leon. We're happy you're there. Alexis Charmley. I see Wanda Mitchell is here. Andrew Griffith says the 592 in trouble. It's true, Andrew. It's true. You're in trouble. Fires of the PPP, Lynn Fernandez, Lena Williams. Good to have you girls here with us. Gavin Park, receive as well, Gavin. Emily Durant from Tugwell, Winston Kerr, Kalari Fraser Kingston. Good to see you as well. Erwin Don Cook, we see you, Erwin. We trust that you guys are great. We're fired up at our end, good folks, and we are ready to go, and we trust that you guys are as well. We got to fight card set. Don't hold us back. We are fired up, good people, and we are ready to go. Lynn Fernandez, we see you, Lynn. We see you, Pinky Kirk, Claire Capel, Yolanda. We see you as well, Yolanda. Irma, we see you, Irma. Junior Gibson, all the other folks who are joining us. Andy Williams, we see you there, Andy, and we trust that you are well. Andy. How are you doing, Andy? Good to have you. Great to have you. Folks, tomorrow is going to be a big day, and we're happy, guys, as you've been day in, day out with us. I'm going to be speaking tomorrow in the National Assembly, folks, so we're going to miss the morning program tomorrow, but do join us in our stream for our goings on at the National Assembly right on our page. So we will not have the morning show tomorrow. We will not have the morning show because I want to use some time to prepare. I want to use some time to prepare, good folks. So you're not going to excuse the eye tomorrow morning. But good to have you, Alvin Fraser, Winston Granada, Gail Alicock, Carl Hudson. Good to have you, Algeria Semple, Wanda Gordon. Wherever you're joining us from, folks, share the damn live, smash that emoji button. We're fired up and we are ready to go, and we trust that you guys are as well. We got a couple of things on the fight card we want to share with you folks. A lot of things, as a matter of fact, on the fight card we want to share with you good people. A pace and power, a boots on the ground. Y'all know how we do it, good folks. Y'all know how we do it. Good to have each and every one of you, wherever you folks are joining us from tonight. Great to see you. We got a couple of things on the fight card. Olive Farrell, good to have you. Mbali Clark, Mbali, how you doing? I hear from you a little bit, Mbali, but I know you're busy with the work and so on. Good to have you tonight. We're grateful for that. Donald, we see that Donald is on with us. Deborah Edwards and Seymour George. Patricia Craig is here. Sito. Sharon Castle Edwards, good to have you, Sharon. Yonet Parker, good to see you too, Yonet. And I see Glycis Byrne is here, folks. We got a couple things on the fight card we want to share with you folks. We're going to talk to you about what's happening in Ukraine. And then we're going to talk to you with what happened with Big Uncle Boy Z. And then Rochelle Khan on the fight card tonight. And then we got some ladies, folks. We got some ladies. We're going to talk about them as well. And then the Chief Justice, the Lady of Ladies. Reverend Mackenzie Talbot, we see you there as well. Wakil Muhammad. How you doing, Wakil Muhammad? Good to see you. Gil Ali Cup, Wakil Muhammad, Shireen, Carol, Diane, and Bali. Good to have you, JP Michael. Good to have you, JP Michael, and all the other folks. These are a couple of things we're going to be touching, folks. There's a couple of the things we are going to be touching during the course of the evening. Good folks, during the course of the evening, we are going to be touching them, and we're so happy, Carol Hudson, you're here with us, and Pretty Milicia, good to have you, and Hazel Chase, Deborah Sherona Lynch, good to have you as well, Roderick Henry, we're happy that you're here with us, folks. Good to have you, and all of you who are joining us, folks. You know, we got to go from here. We got to go from here, folks. Yeah. We got the opener for y'all, folks. We got the opener for y'all. Senior Counsel, Rosedale Ford, prosecuting the case today of discrimination and marginalization and the broker politics of the PPP, made a case in the National Assembly during his presentation on what's happening with this budget and how some people get from this budget and how some other people not getting a damn thing from it. He spoke to that clearly, and then he walked into Mucka and walked us through what is happening there in Mucka and how this government has been so high-handed and hard-hearted toward the folks at Mucka. And folks, that is why, that is like tonight, good folks, we got as the opener, Yep, the opener tonight, folks. Senior Counsel, Rosedale Ford, speaks about the government biases. My God, the government biases. Yeah. Government biases. Yep. And a number of issues. The opener tonight. The man himself, Senior Counsel, Member of Parliament, Rosedale Ford. Take a look and take a listen.
Mr. Speaker, among the travesties still occurring in Guyana is the persistent failure by the government to make wages and salaries livable and to respect the constitutional right to collective bargaining for all unionized workers in the public service, or where the government is a shareholder. I believe this government must act now and move to the bargaining table with the trade unions to achieve increased wages and salaries and improve conditions of work reflective of an oil and gas economy. Government has failed to deliver on its elections campaign's promise of a 50% increase to all public servants after more than 2 years in government. Unilaterally tossing less than 20% increase in wages and salaries to public servants in 3 years is as discriminatory as it can get. In 2020, public servants received nothing. In 2021, they were tossed a 7% taxable increase. And in 2022, an 8% taxable increase. This is unacceptable. What is needed for the small man in this country, Mr. Speaker, is a helping hand up, not the government's boot on his neck. Mr. Speaker, when the government boasts of development to the people, this development is meaningless if it is not accessible to our people. In instances where the government is seeking to establish housing development, citizens are being asked to pay exorbitant sums of money on unlivable wages and salaries. The locations of these areas are far removed from persons' workplaces and their children's schools. Persons also can't get to locations where these houses are going up neither because they cannot afford to purchase a car. It is a situation of one step forward and many steps backward. The situation will get worse if we do not value the importance of progressive infrastructural development and building communities which are accompanied by the requisite amenities and services. And even though we are seeking to break free of poverty by the seemingly supportive opportunities that exist, they remain shackled by policies that do not empower them either. Mr. Speaker, I believe that we can afford to build quality houses for the ordinary Guyanese man and woman. The construction of these must come from small contractors, primarily the marginalized communities of our society. This is a plan that will give the small man an opportunity to escape poverty. The government is also facilitating the massive transfer of state wealth and awarding huge contracts to the identified one Guyana. Flagrant disregard for the public sector workers and the vulnerable in our midst continues despite evidence of the vast economic disparities and the repeated advice to pursue political inclusion and shared prosperity. Even the Joe Biden administration had urged this government to act responsibly. In the world's fastest growing economy, the government ignores that 49% of the people are living in poverty. 48% of the population is existing on less than 1,200 Guyana dollars a day. In this Guyana, that pensioners are expected to survive on $33,000 per month with today's cost of living. These groups, which represent the majority of Guyana, get no direct benefit from living in the fastest or the fifth fastest growing, depending on what the president says, economy. Only the one Guyana, that special one Guyana, is benefiting from this growth. Mr. Speaker, this budget is anti-family. It has given the small man nothing, nothing to survive on, nothing to live on, nothing to hope for. As families are stretching themselves thin on small incomes, the government has been withdrawing billions from the Natural Resource Fund. But these sums have had no direct impact on the ordinary lives of the people. 3 times last year, the government dipped into the fund. In May, for $200 million was withdrawn. In July, another $200 million, and this month, $207.6 million. In 2022, Guyana earned more than $1 billion in oil and gas revenue, more than $150 million in royalty, and the economy grew by more than 60%. By no stretch of the imagination, Mr. Speaker, is Guyana a poor country, but yet poverty is pervasive with a widening economic disparity and government indifference. My fellow Guyanese, we would like the government to address its mind, assuming it has a mind and a heart, to the philosophical underpinning of Aristotle's theory, and I quote, "Poverty is the parent of revolution and crime." Aristotle is referenced, Mr. Speaker, merely to direct attention to the causative effects of deprivation and what we must do as representatives of our people to address this. The reappearance of street and extrajudicial killings are symptomatic of the social decay and the return of the breakdown in law and order. Mr. Speaker, these indicators do not augur well for the stability of our people and our beloved country, Guyana. 2 days before the budget presentation, Guyanese were shocked at the news of the gunning down of Delon Josiah at his home, in his bedroom, at Perseverance on the east bank of Demerara. Days earlier, Anthony Charles, called Skiddy, of Leopold Street, was gunned down in broad daylight. This assembly cannot ignore these untoward happenings in our streets, either by rogue officers and or by civilians, threatening the safety and security of us all. It is not the national development, Mr. Speaker, when the PPP continues to ensure that significant and transformative projects are only landed in their geopolitical strongholds, a continuation of what continued and obtained during the previous terms in office. Guyanese are aware that the hospitality training complex is identified for Port Moran, the gas to shore at Wales, the packaging plant in Edmore, and the list goes on and on. There will be no similar economic transformational projects, as far as we know, slated anywhere near communities represented and dominated by supporters of the opposition. This is the president's one Guyana, and this should certainly offend our sense of national consciousness. The largest budget in the history of the nation deliberately avoids meaningful funding to the predominantly black civil service and discipline services. I can say more, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the attention is now going to be directed to the travesty in Caneview, Mocha, in which the police was used by the executive of this country to prevent their fellow Guyanese from protecting their homestead and belongings. It's beside the point, Mr. Speaker, whether they were asked to remove or offered support to move. Mr. Speaker, will the other side of this assembly initiate this very public policy to clear the Grove to Diamond East Bank reserves, which will ease traffic congestion in the East Bank corridor? This legislature, this lawmaking branch of this government, in which sits the executives, members, knows that homeowners, be they described as squatters or otherwise, have rights. No government should demolish persons' homes and properties without engagement, providing them with comparative opportunities for relocation and securing their hard-earned possessions and investments. Mr. Speaker, the United Nations Commission on Human Rights, the Subcommission on Prevention of Discrimination and the Protection of Minorities report illuminated the 12 misconceptions and misunderstandings of the right to housing. The report dispelled the notion of squatters being criminals and unworthy of meaningful engagement and respect. Indeed, our Constitution, Article 154 of the Constitution, demands and calls upon every state organization to respect the rights arising under international treaties. Lest it be forgotten, we were elected here to represent our people, and this representation must be to the benefit of all the Guyanese people. The PPP continues in this regard to fall woefully short. The government's inattentiveness to the people is also reflected in its treatment of the judiciary. Not only has President Irfan Ali failed to respond to the Honorable Leader of the Opposition's, Mr. Aubrey Norton's letter, agreeing to the substantive appointments of Mrs. Janet Cummings Edwards and Mrs. Roxanne George Wiltshire Senior Counsel as Chancellor and Chief Justice respectfully, consistent with Article 127 of our Constitution, he has failed to ensure that the judiciary has been conferred with the required human resources to dispense justice in a timely manner. Initiation by the President of the required consultation with the Leader of the Opposition for the appointment of confirmed officers must happen forthwith. Mr. Speaker, the judiciary demands immediate attention, and I believe the dilly-dallying must end. The situation is dire, and the government's dereliction of duty was politely addressed by the acting Chancellor, Justice Cummings Edwards, when she said, and I quote, "We need more judges. We need the Judicial Service Commission to be established ASAP as soon as possible. We are facing increased caseloads. Judges are now overburdened. They are exhausted. They are nearly worn out, and they are in some cases burned out," end of quote. Undoubtedly, Justice Cummings felt compelled to remind the executive, and I quote again, "We do not need the rhetoric. We need more laborers. We need the judges. We've been hearing time and time again about the JSC soon to be established. We would like to see the implementation and the establishment of the Judicial Service Commission." Mr. Speaker, as an officer of the court and a member of this House, and my fellow colleague, Honorable Member Anil Nandalal, Senior Counsel, he ought to be advised, and I do advise him, to render proper advice to the President, to ensure that the executive honors its obligations to the judicature. All are aware that justice delayed is denied, and the morale of the members of the judiciary is tied to the employment stability and the proper conditions under which they dispense justice.
That's it, folks. Senior Counsel Roysdale Ford on his feet in the National Assembly, reminding the jagabats and the trench crappers about their misdeeds. And then they want to come wrong you talking about one Guyana. Where? As many Guyanas you mean. One Guyana, Nika Sinclair, you believe that? Roderick? Donald Abrams, you believe that? Rosetta Barton, Sukchan Sudari, one Guyana. Where? Where is that, folks? Share the live. Smash the emoji button. Some of you joining us on Facebook, y'all get a little thing, you know. Share the damn live. Smash that emoji button, folks. And let me go along the road. Let me go along the road, good people. Let me go along the road. That's where we're bringing it from, folks. Happening internationally. That's where we're bringing it in from tonight. Internationally, good to have each and every one of you here, wherever you're joining me from. Sion Bap Semple, Deborah Clark, wherever you're joining us from. John Adrian, wherever you're joining me from. Karen Archibald, share it down. Oh God, share it down right now, man. Share it right. Smash the emoji button and let me go down the road. Well, folks, thanks. Going to Ukraine, they have agreed. We told you this morning, an FYI, that it was in consideration. But during the course of the day, the US and Germany, they have agreed to send tanks to Ukraine in what Joe Biden called a united effort. Yep. A united effort. Tanks going to Ukraine for who vex? Who vex lose? We have no apology. The tanks going to Ukraine. Full stop. That's what's happening. Full stop. That is what is happening. We got some tanks, good folks. Tanks going to the Ukraine. Well, so what? That's how what we're tracking internationally. You can see this whole thing start shifting little by little bit. Beatrice Selby, Stephanie Brown, little bit by little bit. You can see this whole baby show changing. Crisis Mingo Byrne, Leslie Thompson. Who vex? Who vex lose? The tanks going. The tanks going to the Ukraine. Full stop. Moving on, folks. Moving on in fight carry. Bringing some things in from around the region, good folks. We good to see you, Sheila Boy Child. We're happy to see you, Dan Foley, Sandra Brotherson. Happy to see you as well. Yep, looks like what's happening along the region, good folks. Share the damn live. Smash that emoji button and let me go down the road. Folks, there has been a murder in Beckway. Beckway, beautiful part of the island of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The opposition leader there, his brother-in-law, his cousin rather, has been killed execution style. Saw some of the video. They're not shit. You know, we don't mind showing some graphic content. This one here, little children, the leader of the opposition, the Honorable Godwin Friday, his cousin was killed execution style. And yet again, he made that call to Ralph Gonzalez. He said, Ralph, the crime in Beckway, the crime in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, getting out of control. Why these people like crime together? Crime in St. Vincent and the Grenadines out of control, like they profit from crime. And then we friend there, they were crime here too. Out of control. People choking, robbing and broadly like dinky. Plenty people along, little people along, nobody along. Same result. Same result. The impunity with which people are being robbed in this country. Oh my God. It's horrific. Horrific. And them boys in the National Assembly there approving billions for what? Approving billions for what? To do what? Front don't have the competence for health. You don't know. Ben, definitely you don't have the fortitude to fight crime. You can imagine Ben crime fighting where? So we want to say our thoughts and prayers go out to the Honorable leader of the opposition there in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Godwin Friday, Honorable Godwin Friday. Thoughts and prayers. And you're going to bring that crime situation under control there. Small island, beautiful people, beautiful places. But the crime. We got your own basket issues, of course. We ain't gonna come along them funny. We're the 592 good folks. Well, y'all know if we got the goal a little up too long, there's problems. If we left the goal up a little too long, it's trouble. Share the damn live, Patrice Hudari. Smash the emoji button. Good to see you there. I have Natasha Congrave. Smash that emoji button for us. Thousands of you, I can say that officially now, watching us across social media. Great to have each and every one of you. You don't want to stay for the closer tonight. Adele Semple, good to have you there. Linda Thomas, you don't want to stay for the closer. Leslie Thompson, Ethelene Peters, you don't want to stay for the closer. Robert King, great to have you. So wherever you guys are joining us from, great to have each and every one of you here with us. Good folks. Robert King, good to have you as well. We're in the 592. Let me take the listing quick before we end up in trouble. We're in the 592, good people. We're in the 592. For information, remember Uncle Boise? Only remember Uncle Boise, but then by Spiny. Them boys fine. Uncle Boise, yeah. Hiding like a coward in an old house. Jerk that he is. Yep. Kill that young woman, 41 years old. Huh? Kill that young woman, 41 years old, like she was nothing. They find Uncle Boise in an old house. Nazaline Mohammed was found dead on Monday. Marks of violence about her body. Her whole stomach cut open, especially intestines were protruding because of a man like Boise. What problem a woman could give you that you believe that is her end and should be her end? You all need to be hung. Hang them high and stretch them wide. And let the UN do what the UN got to do. Hang them high and stretch them wide, and then let the UN do what they got to do. What they got to do? Pack of nonsense happening, and it's the slothfulness, intransigent, and don't care attitude of this administration that some citizens feel like a treat women like that. I was horrified this afternoon to hear the National Assembly, Vinaya Prasad saying how she cares about women. She's very sensitive about domestic violence. She's very sensitive. Gotta get a video and show you in another report. She's sensitive to domestic violence. Pack of nonsense. It's that same kind of behavior. A Vindian crew that got Boise and people like Boise who believe they can kill our women with impunity. Cut up the woman's whole stomach. You wasn't enough for shish. You want enough. God damn it. You want enough. Go about your business. And from the looks here, I understand why Nazaline Mohammed probably did what she did. If she did it, and so what? You want me the first, you want me the last? These folks here sending a bad signal, this administration, to people who commit these dangerous acts, criminal acts. And so there, Vinaya Prasad was telling us, she's sensitive to domestic violence, gender-based violence. The sensitive woman didn't have a word for Ozzy Rogers when he beat up the girl in bad settlement. She didn't have a word for Chandradas Prasad, former High Commissioner to India. She had a word for him, but she's sensitive to domestic violence. It crawls my skin to hear the kind of lies. This lie all the time, but it take on a different magnitude now. I tell you all, a religious liar, a religious hypocrite, most dangerous. Most dangerous. I'm sensitive to gender-based violence, and because I take it seriously, not a word against Ozzy Rogers. Wicked, stink, and dirty. Moving on, tell her we can circle back to her. I'm going to have a whole show for Vinaya and her hypocrisy. A whole show for the hypocrisy, folks. So Boise was captured. You see? Was captured. Hiding out like a coward. He is in the old house, someplace. He should do the honorable thing. I won't tell you what that is. He should have done the honorable thing and save taxpayers some money. God damn it. The honorable thing. Hiding out in a house like Salam, like a coward he is. You should have faced the law like a man. Helpless, harmless woman. You will carry answer with. Pack of nonsense. Pack of nonsense, if you ask me. Bundle of nonsense. Some of the things we're following, folks. Moving on, fires of the PPP every goddamn day this country. Joylin, Adele Semple, every day, fires of the PPP. Things just combust, poof, gone. Woman and her son alone living in a house in Norton Street went up in flames in just the same fashion. Poof. Just like that, fires of the PPP. Fires in the PPP. Look some of what happened during the course of the day. Fires. While Robeson Belly National Assembly, room burning. Fiddling with his thumb. Fires of the PPP.
Look, I'm coming from the. I want coming from the. Look, I'm coming from there. I want coming from there.
Oh, shit.
Look, I'm coming from there. I want coming from there.
Fires of the PPP, folks. Fires of the PPP Norton Street. They said it's an elderly woman and her son. The cause of the fire is still to be determined. And thankfully, the Guyana Fire Service was able to prevent the fire from catching to other buildings, spreading to other buildings. And the only folks who claim they like fire, the Fire Nation, Sunday National Assembly, while that was going on, you know, the fire. They can't help. They got a bucket, they can fetch nothing. They can't reach your little son. But there's meat. Just to watch things burn. Just to watch things burn. Then it's just meat. And now we tell them they got fire now. You should yell and go, they budget. They budget. You see? It's photo up people. It's the photo up crew. Fires of the PPP. They got to stop burning down these schools though. They got to stop the foolishness, PPP. Stop burning down the schools. The PPP, the People's Progressive Party, got to stop burning down the schools in this country. Wickedness. Got to stop putting our children's lives in peril. That's one of the things we're following, folks. This fire today in Norton should be thankful. Very thankful that there wasn't any loss of lives. Tremendously thankful. Tremendously thankful there were no loss of lives. Yep. So in Guyana, folks, you think it's easy? We are hearing a tutorial high school. There was an assault. A teacher we heard was beat up. That's the allegation by a student. A teacher at tutorial high school. Folks, it's like the Wild Wild West, you know. It's like the Wild Wild West in the 592. Romel Gonzalez, Lester Williams, Sandra Bradison, Roderick Henry, or McDowell, Mavis Davis well. Queen's Love. It's like the Wild Wild West here, boy child. A teacher we heard beat up a student, a student rather, the reverse. A former student beat a teacher with a belt. That is what we're hearing. A tutorial high school. We need a national intervention. We need proper people for the Ministry of Education. It can't be friends, family, and favorites. It just can't be that. Jamal Aziz, Carmela. That is what we're hearing. A teacher, tutorial high school, assaulted by a former student, beaten with a belt. We can have more of this for you guys. More of that or the subsequent broadcast. We got to arrest this situation here, folks. This thing like a runaway train. Who held men education? Education like it just drifting along by itself. Anne-Marie Selby, like it just drifting along by itself. And Jerry Simple and all the other folks who are joining us, like you're just drifting along. The truth hurts. That's very well, you know. The truth hurts. If you heard by that, the truth hurts. Pace and power, folks. The Jagabats, the transcript, the tadpoles, and the cricketers. You all know them. Hippocytes, Jebusites, Hittites, Nakavakamites, Philistines, and Pharisees. Parliament National Assembly talking about bundle nonsense. Jagabats and trench couples is this section, especially for them. Curated. Yeah. But Russian can run out today. The Hajj run out. But letter in the newspaper, lashing Harry right to Harry wrong. Talking about a clandestine fee. That was particularly interesting. A clandestine fee that folks gotta pay now. Folks gotta pay a clandestine fee He's very worried about security in this country, and especially the security services. Haj Roshan Khan, you know, he's the proprietor of RK's Security Services and the other companies there. He says, with great concern, I write this letter on the above caption as to the madness prevailing in Guyana as relates to the registration, the licensing, the armoring, and passengers to govern security services, he says. In this country, it is obvious that security services are not treated by the government or the authorities and the laws as they should be. Security services should be as specialized and difficult to open as a commercial bank, and not anyone who adds security services at the end of their name or pay the clandestine fee should be allowed to operate a security service. It's the clandestine fee that had us. The clandestine fee, because we made some call and this isn't an actual fee. So we interpret it to mean bribe money. The clandestine fee. But if Haj Roshan Khan has some information, who take him by? Because I know the Minister of Home Affairs has purview over the security sector, the private security firm sector. He has purview over that, issuing of license and all of that. So who will pay this clandestine fee? Haj Roshan Khan, as a man, as a religious man, you have a right to let this nation know who get paid what and how much, because we know the corrupt. We know the corrupt. Consultancy fee, clandestine fee, they're taking the money all secretive kind of ways. We know the corrupt. So don't get information and keep it to yourself. Slip it to your boy. Clandestine fee. And I could understand where the Hajj is coming from. You got a fellow who got approved in December. He had a 20-year-old gun, never trained him how to use it. The man shot himself, and a 15-year-old. That's security for you. I went to school the other day. I walked from the front gate right to the HM office, and the security sleeping. In and out. So what passes with security now? I understand a lot of folks in a socio-economic circumstance. It's not a career, it's a work, because you got to eat tomorrow. I know them boys say they can't make it no better. They ain't making it no better. So you want to know some more about this clandestine fee? We read in this letter to the press that firms paying to get approved the clandestine fee. Corrupt PPP. Corrupt to the core. Not a little bit. Corrupt bad. Bad. Moving on to fight card, good folks. But look story here. Look story here, good folks. What's trouble now? You think it's easy in this country? You think it's easy? Nicole Cole, Ingrid Pollard, Roderick Henry, Volme Wilson, Irma Dow. You think it's easy in this country? Sheila Boy Child. You think it's easy? Sheila Boy Child said money have he make. The clandestine fee. Money have he make. Romel Gonzalez. That's the code them boy go by. Ronald Mackenzie Talbot. Hazel Chase. Money have he make. Money have he make. Moving on to fight card, good folks. But look, the Pagini case. International Decade of People of African Descent. You remember the withholding money, yeah, from Ipataji Guyana, to stifle them. Because why? The people is not an emerging apartheid state. So to fight Ipataji, they blocked the money. Ipataji took them to court. The Chief Justice, Roxanne George Wiltshire, bright woman. We can disagree with her decisions, but we agree. They don't write bad. She not 35 watt bulb, you know. This is LED, you know, 47,000 watt and them kind of wattage. She said it's a national embarrassment. But a matter like that, funding in the National Decade of People of African Descent got me to the court. And I really want to thank News Source for picking up this. She said it's an embarrassment to our nation. 2 years to go, and we still in this imbroglio. This is Chief Justice speaking. It's an embarrassment, she said. 2 years to go, and we said in this, maybe heading all the way to the Caribbean Court of Justice. How will it look? The Chief Justice said, on us as a state. Oh God, we have lost our statesmen and women, and I thank God for Roxanne George Wiltshire. We don't always agree with the parent, but we can agree with the wisdom of the years. She said how it would look with us as a state. She said, I'm not saying that people don't have a right to appeal and go all the way to the apex court, the CCJ, which hopefully will settle the matter. Justice George says, as she underscored the importance of having the matter resolved, she said that they can go another way, to mediation, go another. She says an embarrassment to us as a nation. And I'm happy for her because up until now, I feel like we lost them big voices. Bantu King, the Chief Justice, she says a national embarrassment to us as a nation. You got to stop the funding for black people because you disagree with people politically. That's the heart of wickedness and darkness. Here's the heart. A national embarrassment in and of itself. And they want us to believe they're not an apartheid state, an emerging apartheid state. What a travesty and a national embarrassment. What a travesty, a national embarrassment. They go back to court, I think, in February. Moving on, good folks, on the fight card. Photo of the day. Photo of the day. Photo of the day, good folks. Look what we saw during the course of the day. These fantastic all-female surgical ward. Ladies, do I have it right? Folks, let me just check my notes. Let me pull out my whole book here and check the notes. And make sure we got it right. All-female surgical team, yes. At the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation, we want to recognize them and say respect and manners. Right? Yesterday, the corporation hailed its all-female surgical team and said that this is a historic occurrence for Guyanese women in surgery, particularly female general surgeons. Them girls bright, coming hot on the heels of the Chief Justice. They're bright. They ain't playing the bright. They're just damn bright. That's what I'm saying. They're bright. And they said they are led, this team is led by Dr. Gabriel Nobrega. And from the right, they are Dr. Nobrega, Dr. Hussein, Dr. Ambrose, Dr. Solomon, Dr. Kisoon, and Dr. Wright. We want to say respect and manners to our young people, our young women, pushing on in spite of all the struggles, pushing on in spite of all the setbacks they've had in their life. You don't mean they're easy, There's night and night of studies, and we want to say respect and manners to them. Night and night of hard work, respect and manners. I did law, graduated, I ain't faulting second year. You always say people who can do law, they do medicine. So I want to say congrats. I want to say congrats to these beautiful young women. Folks, I'm only teasing there. I'm only teasing. I want to say congrats to them. Respect and manners. Respect. That's how young people should be. Moving on, been given the opportunity to flourish and flourishing. Look at them. All beautiful. Respect and manners to them. Respect and manners. Moving on, good folks. We're coming up. Oh, scraps is we candy there. Oh, scraps. Well, brother, I see the comment, but Kwame. I see the comment. Or when Warren and Reddy McKenzie Talbot. Oh, scraps. What in this country, good folk? What happened wrong by me? Oh, scraps. Can't be lean energy, no scraps, girl. It's weird. Can't let me see you there. Look story now. Look story now. The got people have recognized that during these debates on the national budget, on NCN and Chronicle, DPI, you could only see government ministers. It's like they're talking to themselves in the National Assembly. And the public have been asking, where they up new AFC members of parliament? Where are they there? They see the bias, in this one Guyana, Irfan Ali presiding, installed albeit, you see? In this one Guyana, you can only see government ministers debating. What wickedness is that? What wickedness is that? Look, one comment we saw on social media. Oscar Phillips. Oscar. Oscar. Here Oscar said, though I may have some disagreements with the budget presentations of the APNU, I consider it unfortunate that their presentations are not being carried by a national television station. Yeah. You see, he agree with me. You see? But he's a fair person. Somebody like that you could work with. Somebody like that you could work with. Ayabo. He said, someone once said, though I do not agree with your utterances, I will fully support your right to have your say. Now that's maturity. Pong me, Oscar, that's maturity. And take a pong, Oscar Philip, that's maturity. And when Dan Cook got the wisdom for the hour. And still wicked, Orin Dan says. She left out stinking dirty. I can have it for you. The wicked stinking dirty. Oscar Phillips, I can pong you for that. That's mature. I may not agree with you, but I can fight for the right for you to speak your mind. Adolphus Jamat, good to have you in Culver's by Jackie Bay and all the other folks. We're moving on, good people. We're moving on. Respect and manners to Oscar. The closer, folks. The closer. Folks, respect and manners to my fellow members of parliament, all across the divide. Across the divide. Respect and manners to them. Respect and manners across the divide. You know, all relevant. Good family who love them, spouses and children and so forth. And I think what knits us all together, I think genuinely, we all want what's best for this country. Them boys got some gymnastic policies that won't get us there. But I think we all want what is best. But today the National Assembly, reminding us where this country is. Because if you listen to the members of the government benches, you think all is well and hunky-dory in this country. Don't worry, inflation, man. Right? That small thing, that small 8% inflation, eating out your money. Don't bother with them, man. Don't worry, them patrol, we get around to it. Right? Don't be overcrowded school. Coming soon, we will fix it. You see? Don't worry, the Judicial Service Commission. You know, maybe in another 3 years' time, you see, when they felt ready, maybe. You know? But there was Vince Roy Jordan, Member of Parliament representing Region 5 folks, walking us through where this country is. And when them boys trying to pull wool over your eye, and everything they're doing, stand up strong. Vince Roy reminded this nation, as we will remind you tonight, that every sector collapsing under them boys. Every sector collapsing, falling down under the jagabats and the trench crappers. He reminded the National Assembly. Things fall apart that the center cannot hold. Who wrote that poem? I can't remember the author. It's not a book and all that. Things fall apart that the center cannot hold. Come on, my bright people. Some men speak with a passionate intensity. You see? An anarchy is loosed upon the world. Who wrote that? Things fall apart. But Vince Roy was reminding us today of the things, good folks, of the things that have fallen apart in this country. Yeah, well, them boys trying to pull wool over our eyes. We're thankful. We're thankful. Vince Roy Jordan for the closer. Folks, listen to Vince Roy. Pace and power, good folks. Pace and power. Pace and power.
The minister said, when we took office in 2020, the agriculture sector was in a state of collapse as it had become a target for political vindictiveness, having been starved of financial support and subjected to particularly poor planning. Sir, the minister went on to say in his speech, this is tragic since agriculture is an important pillar in our oil economy and has been the base of economic activity, especially in rural communities for decades. Mr. Speaker, I, like many Guyanese, find this statement laughable. Since we all know this minister throughout his almost 6 hours of vacuous presentation, found himself in the opposite corner of truth, like the rice, second paddy drying floor still to be completed in region number 5 from since 2022, and the incomplete state-of-the-art abattoir at Unfawak that is presently at foundation stage of construction, although funded started since the year 2020. Mr. Speaker, this is the state of an abattoir that was funded since 2020. Mr. Speaker, only 2 days ago, the foundation is still being dug, Mr. Speaker. This is the rate of completion. This is the fast rate of completion that the Honorable Minister of Finance speaks about when he comes to this house. And after 3 years of spending, Mr. Speaker, this abattoir is still at foundation state, Mr. Speaker. Kudos to the PPPC government, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, if the Honorable Minister wants to talk about collapse, I will direct him to his government's 2022 mid-year report. That, Mr. Speaker, is a total collapse. Mr. Speaker, when sugar declined by 55.9% in 1 year after an already reduced target, that is collapse, Mr. Speaker. When rice declines by over 22.4% with no adverse weather conditions, that is collapse, Mr. Speaker. When fisheries and aquaculture decline by 19% in the same year, that is collapse, Mr. Speaker. When livestock and meat production declines despite a growing demand for animal source food products, both locally and internationally, that is collapse, Mr. Speaker. When other crops, value crops, coconuts, corn, soybeans still can't move past the phase of studies and diversification, designs and theories after billions of dollars being invested, Mr. Speaker, that is a collapse. Mr. Speaker, when Gaisuko through this government spends over $150 million on 8 non-functional cane loaders, machines placed at Albion and Blaymont Estates, and after 2 months, not one piece of cane could be picked up by these 8 non-functional machines. Mr. Speaker, that is tragic. That is a collapse, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, when this government can collect an entire flock of malnourished and in some cases barren black belly sheep and boast about this, Mr. Speaker, that is a collapse. So when the PPPC government, after investing over $40 billion of taxpayers' money into Gaisuko and can reopen one estate, Mr. Speaker, that is collapse. When sugar, Mr. Speaker, when Gaisuko, after reducing its production target over 97,000 metric tons of sugar in 2019 to a mere 57.
Honorable Member, the Honorable Minister of Agriculture is rising on a point of order.
Mr. Speaker, a point of order, section 40. The honorable member is impeding improper motive in saying that Gaisuko would have purchased 8 cane grabber, which is not true. And I ask that you apologize and withdraw that statement.
Honorable Member, the Honorable Minister is saying the information provided is not accurate. What we will do is to establish the accuracy of that. So I'm going to ask the clerk to pull up the exact words that you said and ask the minister to provide the contrary information. Go ahead now, Honorable.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, and I can provide the photos of those cane loaders. Mr. Speaker, when Gaisuko, after reducing its production target from over 97,000 metric tons, Mr. Speaker, of sugar in 2019 to a mere 57 metric tons of sugar in 2022, and still fail miserably to make a single crops target, sir, must I say to the Honorable Minister, that is what defines a collapse, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, how dare the Honorable Minister come to this house to tell us about collapsing any sector in this economy, when instead, Mr. Speaker, it was was this honorable minister through his government in 2015 who left an entirely collapsing economy, Mr. Speaker, for the APNU AFC coalition to revive, Mr. Speaker, and revive is what the APNU coalition did, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the APNU government left a thriving agricultural sector in 2020. Today, sir, we see a steady decline in this sector under the hands of a PPPC government. This, Mr. Speaker, contributes to the rapid rise in cost of living, Mr. Speaker, in the sense that we are producing far less than we were 3 years ago and importing far more. Mr. Speaker, don't be bothered by the noise, Mr. Speaker. The proof, Mr. Speaker, is evident in the statistics of the 2022 mid-year report, which shows that most subsectors in the year 2022 declined, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, let me help them to understand their government's performance. Mr. Speaker, sugar declined. Mr. Speaker, rice declined. Fisheries and aquaculture declined. Small and other crops declined. Corn and soybean declined. Mr. Speaker, this is tragic, and this is what we call a total collapse. Mr. Speaker, while this government proudly boasts about the $4 billion allocation to Gaisuco to commence the construction of the Albion packaging plant, sir, the real argument is whether Gaisuco needs a multi-million-dollar packaging plant. Sir, Gaisuco is failing day after day, crop after crop, to produce enough sugar to be processed and packaged at its Blaymont Central factory location. Sir, I ask the Honorable Minister of Agriculture, with sugar dying, Mr. Speaker. Sir, I ask the Honorable Minister of Agriculture, with sugar dying under his watch, is this feasible for Gaisuco, Mr. Speaker? Mr. Speaker, the rice sector in 2019, according to the Guyana Rice Development Board statistics, show that Guyana produced 1,049,874 metric tons of paddy, making it the second highest rice producing achievement in Guyana's history. While region number 5 alone, Mr. Speaker, produced 454,476 metric tons of paddy, with a rice equivalent, Mr. Speaker, of 295,409 metric tons. This, Mr. Speaker, was the region's second best performance, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, today the rice production is at its lowest. Mr. Speaker, I repeat, today rice production is at its lowest or its worst performance ever, with the rice sector contracting significantly since 2019. However, Mr. Speaker, the Honorable Minister comes and stands here in this honorable house and tries to mislead the nation as if all things are bright and beautiful.
You can say the honor impute that he's tried to mislead. You have to withdraw that.
Guided, Mr. Speaker. As if all things are bright and beautiful with the rice sector. In fact, sir, the rice sector has contracted by some 22.4% after being projected to grow by this government by 25.1%. The reality being, sir, that rice underperformed at a rate of 47.5% in the year 2022. Mr. Speaker, that is a collapse. That is a tragedy, and that speaks of a collapse in this economy. Mr. Speaker, I challenge the Honorable Minister of Finance and Agriculture to go now, and perhaps I can go with them, Mr. Speaker, and they would see that hundreds of acres of rice land have been abandoned for over 2 crops now, Mr. Speaker. Sir, rice lands in region 5 and 6, Mr. Speaker, are left uncultivated because of the high cost of living, cost of production. Mr. Speaker, the prices for fertilizers and other chemicals have all skyrocketed. Yet in budget 2023, there is no measure to cushion this, Mr. Speaker, and to assist the hundreds of rice farmers to return to the fields of their daily living. How heartless and cruel this is to our farmers, Mr. Speaker.
Pace and power. Pace and power. That's collapse. Collapse boxing them in the face, they ain't seen it. That's collapse. That's what collapse look like, folks. I can't even add to it. Yes, the member of parliament, Vince Roy Jordan. That being said, good folks, share the damn live before you go. Smash that emoji button before you go, good folks. And let me go down the road. Let me go down the road, DJ Hope Tongue. Let me go down the road, Melanie Adams and Simo George, Roderick Henry, Gisela Riemann. Good to have you, Gisela Riemann. Good to have you here, Nabiola Clark, and all the other folks who are joining us. That being said, folks, we don't have a show tomorrow morning. Yeah, I got to speak tomorrow in National Assembly tomorrow morning. And so I want to use the time to prep for that. We're going to be back tomorrow night, and we're going to be bringing you updates all during the day, what's happening in the National Assembly. Tune in to the National Assembly. We're going to be off tomorrow morning, but back on tomorrow night. And we're off tomorrow morning because your boy going to the National Assembly. I got to talk a couple things with them. I got to tell them a couple things. Good folks, good to have each and every one of you. Share the damn live before you go. Smash that emoji button before you go. You know you don't want to water. So partner with us as well, folks. You know we're on Zelle and PayPal, MMG, MoneyGram, Western Union, Cash App, you name it. All for your convenience, of course. Share the damn live. That's how we keep going forward, folks. By your love, your support, and your generosity. That's going to do it for us. Stay safe. Stay safe. Pace and power. Good folks. Pace and power. Pace.